Today the Church celebrates the Solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, we begin like this almost each prayer. So it is fitting to explain to you the Holy Trinity and how it works. So I will be telling you today why God decided to be one in three persons. Then I will tell you which person of the Trinity is more important than the others, and why three persons, not more or less. Why not one God in two persons or one God in seven persons? Would you like to know? Okay, let's find out. Welcome everyone, Father Chris. Okay, I know what you are thinking. You're probably thinking, well, there have been much smarter, better educated and holier priests and theologians, and they still couldn't fully grasp the meaning of the Holy Trinity. And so, if I could understand it and then be able to explain it to you, why the Holy Trinity and how it works, well then, I would be God myself. Because only He can give us answers to these questions, and I believe that one day He will. For now, instead of trying to understand, we need just to believe. And this is exactly what the disciples from the Gospel reading for today are asked to do, to believe. Why? Because they still had doubts. And they had doubts because they tried to understand instead of believe. Does that sound familiar? Don't you try to understand everything rationally, but if there are doubts or something is not scientifically proven, then you have a hard time to believe. So let's go back to the Gospel reading for this Sunday. Before Jesus was crucified, He promised His disciples that He would rise from the dead and that He would meet them again before ascending back to heaven and to His Father. And so He tells them where they should go to meet Him. We read in the Gospel, "The 11 disciples went to Galilee to the mountain to which Jesus had ordered them. But then, when they saw the resurrected Jesus, what did they do? Were they able to recognize Him, to believe that this was Him? Were they able to finally believe that death is not the end, that there is resurrection that He promised to them? Not really. At least not right away. The Gospel again tells us, when they all saw Him, they worshipped, but they doubted. They worship, but had doubts. Yes, they doubted because they wanted to make sense of it. They wanted to understand. They were like, okay, we are happy to see you, but we are not sure if this is truly you. Or maybe somehow you didn't die. Or is this only a dream we are having? We can almost imagine the scene. Jesus asking, "Are you happy to see me?" "Yes, but I love you, Jesus. I'm glad you are here. Great to see you again, but if I were Jesus, I would probably give up on these people 100 times before." But Jesus is patient and knows that they need something else to be able to get rid of their doubts and just start to believe. And that is why He gave them the Holy Spirit that we talked about last week, last Sunday. And that brings me to conclusion. And I'm asking today, what does all this mean to us, mean to you? When they all saw Him, they worshipped, but they doubted. So aren't we like them? You and I, we worship Him but have doubts, not fully believe, and keep doubting like the disciples and say, the resurrection can't be real because it can't be explained. I can't understand it. Holy Trinity, again, can't fully understand it. Life, eternal, I would like to go for a visit and see what it looks like, so that would make me to believe. We need to be very careful not to end up just worshipping, yet because of our doubts, not believing. And how many Catholics are like that today? Only because they want to have everything explained. How many go to church each Sunday and receive Holy Communion, but because the real presence of Christ in that little host and in the wine cannot be scientifically explained, they don't believe and think it is only a nice symbol. And we will talk more about that next Sunday on the Solemnity of the Most Holy Body and Blood of Christ. Or there are some young parents that bring a newborn child to the sacrament of baptism, but don't fully understand the power of that beautiful sacrament, so they just consider it merely as a tradition to follow, or another occasion for a nice family gathering. How about going to confession once a year or more often, but not being able to understand how is it possible that it is God Himself that forgives me all my sins? That God is there present, loving me, and always ready to forgive. Stop trying to understand, start to believe. They worshipped, but they doubted. Do you worship but have doubts? We all have doubts. We are only humans, but our doubts can't lead us to disbelief. We should ask God to turn things around and make us first to believe, and then we will truly worship. Are you still disappointed that I didn't explain to you the mystery of the Holy Trinity? Okay, here is the explanation. There truly is one God in three persons: Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And how do I know that? It's because I don't understand, I believe. Let us believe and worship despite all the doubts. And let's go to work. God bless you.